Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Connection Cafe. It's nice to have you wherever you are, and hopefully you are doing well and have gone through this week, this turbulent, trying, somewhat wearisome week with some strength and courage and love for all. So as always, we're just going to check in with one another and with the ministry team here, and we do hope to hear from some of you and to know how you're doing. So I'm going to begin by asking Pastor Aaron to share a few words about his week.
Yeah, the week was good. We had middle school youth group on Friday night. I'm trying to think of what else happened this week. Probably a lot of stuff that I just don't remember.
You think?
Pentecost parade was great yesterday, so none of us got heat stroke. I know many of you went to protests yesterday. I saw a couple of you at the one in downtown Miami, and I know many of you went to the one in Coral Gables today. So thank you for just being out and showing your support for justice yesterday. As I said in the announcements, check Lori's lines or email me or Lori for information about the webinar tonight through the United Church of Christ, and then Edith Guffey's webinar on Tuesday. And we also have two book clubs coming up that we're looking forward to as well. One about a book called Justice that Pastor Lori and I are going to be leading, and then one on white privilege as well. So you can text me or email me or Pastor Megan about information about that.
Great, thank you. Pastor Megan.
Good morning, everyone, and a blessed Pentecost to you. I had the culminating class in our sacrament program this morning. We had 12 children take our Touch the Water, Taste the Bread program, and we took the little elements that Lori had handed out yesterday, and some had bread and grape juice and things from home, and we really talked about what those meant. So we are really, really looking forward to when we can all be back together. Those children and their families would like to take communion with you here, and Elena Corrales is going to make them little certificates showing that they have completed this course. And so it was just a wonderful morning, along with Sunday school and adult ed. The Acts class is just inspiring, really. And so everything we're reading, we're going, and this could be today, and this could be today. So very relevant for us to be reading that at this time.
How wonderful. Thank you. And my week was, it's never the same old. I kind of wish it were sometimes, but it is not. And each moment holds its own interesting time, and as I'm thinking back over the week, it is being the church and being part of still an exuberant, spirit-filled, vital, justice-seeking church. And like I'm sure both of you, I'm so proud to be a part of this community. I know we have Elena, our wonderful Elena, Director of Communications, ready to bring some messages from all of you, but I'm going to begin with one that came through today. They've been trying the last couple of weeks, and we discovered they had the wrong address, so they're like, where were you? So from Aileen and Ingrid, they say hello to everyone, and that they are missing everyone, but they are thankful for all the church connections. So good to hear from both of you, and best wishes to you too.
They are a faithful Bible study couple. They're there every week, so thank you.
We also have a message from Tony Macon. She says, wonderful environment to worship, Anthony. Great music, powerful prayers and sermon, and calls to worship and justice.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Gary.
Janet Copeland says, good morning, pastors.
Good morning,
Hey.
Janet.
Good morning.
Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Malcolm says hi, and Petra says, good morning. It was lovely seeing you all yesterday.
Great to see you too.
It was indeed, and Janet and Tom and others of you who came through, it was lovely. I loved our Pentecost parade.
Yeah.
Even after the virus is over, we may still have a Pentecost parade. We may have parades all the time, who knows?
You know, they get to see us, but we don't get to see
That's
them.
right.
So I think it was a real blessing for the pastors to see you.
Absolutely.
Noel Cleland says, thank you for all the opportunities to address racism in this country. I look forward to the webinar this evening.
Excellent. And I think all of us would agree that it will be powerful and meaningful, and we really encourage you to watch it, and Edith encourages you to watch it as part of our conversation, our sacred conversation on Race Tuesday evening. So I hope you do.
We have Laura Davis Smith says, hi everyone.
Hey, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hey, Laura.
Ruth says, thank you for such a beautiful and moving service, along with your powerful message, Pastor Lori. It moved me to tears. As a Latina woman of color, I have done too much crying this week. I needed this service of hope and love.
Blessings, Ruth, indeed.
And Laura just said that she just waved at me. Hi. We have, let's see, Rick Walters. Thanks, Pastor Megan, for leading the Acts class and your enthusiasm for the text and learning.
Thank you, Rick, for all your comments and inspiration as well.
He loves Acts.
I'm telling you, I love Acts. I love the book of Acts.
Jillian also says we are also looking forward to the webinar tonight.
Excellent, Jill. It'd be good to have you there.
Raul Hernandez says, thank you for reminding us that rather than speaking in tongues, the Holy Spirit commands us to listen and humbly try to understand the plight and generational pain of our African American sisters and brothers.
Thanks, Raul.
Rick Walters asks, Pastor Lori, what inspired you to show the video, and what did it mean for you?
Well, it's interesting. You would think we could have this conversation at home, but we never see each other. For those of you who don't know, Rick Walters is my husband. Actually, it was incredible. I couldn't sleep on Friday night. I just could not sleep with everything that was happening. And I was lying on the couch kind of tossing and turning, and you know how you kind of go to sleep and then you wake up and so forth. And somehow I woke up and Jimmy Kimmel was on, who I never see because I'm usually trying to be asleep by then, so that when I wake up at 2 a.m., you know, I have a little sleep under my belt. And he showed this video, and I was so moved and touched by it and thought, this video says things so much more than I can or should say. And so I chose to do that.
So in Acts, we say that's the Holy Spirit at work.
Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Exactly.
Debbie says, thank you for the moving message and for thinking of my grandson.
Hey, Deb. We are, you know, that's something else. There's so many layers to all of this, but you know, the generations, and I think of grandmothers and mothers and dads and all, who every time their child of color goes out, the absolute fear they must have and the special training that has to be done. You know, sometimes I just don't think we get all of that.
We have a message from John Carson. Greetings to all my pastors and friends at Gables UCC. Beautiful, moving sermon, Pastor Lori.
Thanks, John. Good to hear from you.
Elaine Cottle says, loved the beautiful service and music, still crying, but they are tears of hope.
Wow. Elaine, it's good to have you back in the city, by the way.
Charlotte Pretty says, thank you for our communion cups and letting us partake together virtually.
Those were a big hit with the kids, by
Were
the
they?
way.
Yeah, good. How did you get them? Did you mail them out?
No, they came yesterday and
Oh,
got
they all
them.
came yesterday.
So
Oh,
they,
wonderful.
those children came, yeah, and they got
Good.
them.
Jill Beach is having a hard time seeing this, but she says she enjoyed the inspiring service and Tyler Merritt's video. She will be on the webinar tonight.
Excellent, Jill.
I know Mary Claire was also watching, and Brad Brown and Sarah Platts were also trying to join. They didn't send a message, but they're here with us.
Alice Fernandez has been on watching every week, but cannot figure out how to comment in the Connection Cafe, so she says hi to you.
Oh,
Hey, Alice. That's great. And to Brad and to Sarah and Mary.
Oh, Jill got in. Good. Sylvia Mendoza says, it was a beautiful service. Thank you for once more standing up for justice.
It was good to see you yesterday.
Yeah.
And Tony Macon says, I just posted the video to my Facebook page, holding you all up to the light of grace and strength.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Harold Rodriguez says, hi to the three of you. Miss you.
Hey, Harold.
Hey, Harold.
Hey.
Christy Hayes says, for any of you who wanted to be a part of the protest this weekend, know that you were well represented at the peaceful and powerful protest on the streets of Coral Gables yesterday. It was not an official church event, and we were there independently. I went alone. I have to tell you that my heart swelled every time I recognized a familiar face hiding behind a mask. I love this church.
Hey, Christy.
How wonderful. And some folks were there, some folks went downtown, and it's so heartening to know how well represented we were. And thank you for representing us.
And I have to say, when I wear my clergy collar and people say, what church are you from? And I get to say Coral Gables Congregational Church, and they say, oh, I know you guys. So,
Do
yeah.
they say, oh, we know you guys, we know you guys, or how?
I think it's more of a happy, recognition. I think we have a reputation of showing up to stuff like that. So.
Well, I'm sure we have a reputation, I just wasn't sure which.
We have one more message coming in, but they are typing it.
Okay, we will dawdle. Is there anything else from?
I know Christy and I did yoga together years ago, and so at the yoga classes we would do namaste. So when we see each other, like at the protest downtown yesterday in Coral Gables, that's what we've been doing. So everyone's trying to find a way to acknowledge each other with a mask on. I took mine off to see Brandon. I said, Brandon, it's me. But with those and not being able to get too close, it's a real challenge. So it's interesting to see how people are creating ways of connection when they meet in a large group or outside somewhere.
Indeed. I liked yesterday, one of the people who drove through held up their name tag because they,
I don't know if you can see
is
me.
that you, Annie?
Yeah, I saw a friend at Target the other day, and it took about 3 seconds for us to register who each other was.
I am going to have to excuse myself because I have a board meeting right now that I'm hosting, so have a wonderful and blessed week.
Wonderful.
We just have a couple more. Judy Orr says, I love, love, love all of you. Thank you for loving all of us.
Thank you, Judy.
Thanks, Judy.
Donna and Maya say, good morning and great service.
Thanks, Donna. Thanks, Maya.
And I think those, let me check one more time. Margot Bradley says, thank you for the beautiful service. It was a ray of light.
Hey, Margot. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Margot.
And that is all we have.
Wonderful. Well, family, thank you for connecting with us. It does our hearts so good to hear from you and to know that you are with us in spirit and in the presence of the Spirit. So thank you so much. Have a great week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.